So today I want to speak about the kind of transitioning situation that's going on in the UK, probably across the world right now, and how I feel that faith needs to step up and take precedence. Now is the time for a shift to take place. I'll see you after the intro. So greetings, welcome back. My name is I'm from Kana Kalitics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So I'm not sure what I want to title this, but I want to talk about faith. I'd be called faith, to be fair. And I just want to speak about that all these changes that are going on right now. So right this time, right at this moment, we just had the death of the Queen. And now there's obviously, we're still going through, she hasn't been buried yet, so the UK is still in a state of limbo. But what I feel right now is where I think faith leaders should address the nations or address the different faiths to help with this balance, because there's an imbalancement at the moment. Everyone's got all these opinions and it feels really static and really raw, but I'm not saying controlled, but it feels like the whole idea is all out there. There's no direction to what people are saying. It's amazing people are voicing their opinions. Obviously, that's key, that everyone has an opinion. They should be allowed to speak and express themselves whatever they want to. And that is a beautiful thing about being human, or we want to say, meant to be in this country, that we can turn around and have a point of view and express it without being victimized because of it. But I feel there is a lot of people saying stuff they don't really want to really say, or they're just airing it, but there's no comeback, there's no one saying anything. You know, faith leaders, I haven't said nothing. The Pope hasn't said anything. The Bishop of London and all the rest of these faith leaders right across this country haven't said anything on the media. Now, is it because the media hasn't exposed this or put this out there? I don't know. But they haven't addressed anything yet. The only time I saw a religious leader say something was when they were talking about the meaning of the rituals of the faith. And this woman, I think she was a deacon, I'm not sure, but she was COE, which is Church of England. And she was explaining it she was talking about Queen Elizabeth's faith. You know, Queen Elizabeth believed in the afterlife. So what she was explaining was that the whole service would be based on Queen Elizabeth, because Queen Elizabeth put together the whole funeral. She wrote everything. So what you see is what she wanted. And all everyone is doing is executing her last will and her wishes. So what she was saying is that what you're going to see is her Queen Elizabeth's beliefs coming through in her over these next couple days, and from a spiritual point of view. And for that short time, everything seemed to make sense. Yeah. And I remember being around someone, and I can't remember, this person wasn't really royalist, it wasn't really spiritual, but that person said to me, that makes sense, you know? And I can't remember exactly, if I can find it, I'll put it up here, but I can't remember exactly who it was. I know it was a woman, and she was kind of high up in the COE, and she just was explaining about the how Queen Elizabeth's funeral was going to go. But let's move that aside. But what I want to talk about is just faith at the moment, you know, and there is a lot of time now for us to reset, for us all to reset and look at ourselves about what is important to us. You know what? That's what death does do. Death is a beginning, you know. A death is the beginning of an ending as well, obviously. An ending of someone who everyone knew, family members knew, that person no longer going to be on this earth anymore. but this is also beginning for the people who were left here to change and mold themselves differently. And it's also when you pass over, it's a time for you to review your life as you've gone over and what you've done and what you achieved in your life. But let's look at faith when someone passes over or dies, and what we actually experience, what's going on. And there's a few parts in the scriptures I wanted to share with you, in order to kind of point out that you're not alone. You can seek God's guidance and God's direction, that you're not alone and you're not on your own. So I'd just like to read from the scriptures, and a part of the scriptures talks about God and he's been everlasting. So I want to read from Isaiah. It says on Isaiah 4:28, and it's verse 31. It says, Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He is not to grow tired or weary. He is everlasting. Now, that explains that God will never grow weary of us. Yeah, whoever seeks him, he would seek them out as well. If you want something answered, he would always answer you. Like a proper dad or proper father, let's look at God, the Father, asks the children. Like a proper dad, you ask a question, he will answer you. We just need to have our hearts ready in order for that answer to be kind of like shown to us, for us to accept it. So like a child, we go to our dad or our parents and we ask for something, and then they go like, no, you can't have this. And we go, well, what do you mean? We always ask the questions, we always do. I remember my kids coming to me and going, Dad, can I go out and play? No, it's raining outside. Oh, but I'll put my coat on. No, it's raining outside, you're going to catch a cold. And then they'll go, oh, but I have an umbrella, I'll stay under the shelter. No, when it starts raining, then you can get outside. So that's 3 times they tried. Now, God answering you, when you get to God, you ask God for something, God would either send it through a feeling, he would either change something, or somebody would tell you. But there's many other ways, because remember, God is everlasting, God is everywhere. So God will use our senses for us to be heard so we can be understood. Yeah, so when we talk, he uses everything so he can be heard and we can understand what he's trying to tell us. And I like sometimes that we choose not to hear, so we have selective hearing. And don't worry, I do the same. And especially where you know the answer, what the answer is going to be. And you just have to trust that. Why I'm laughing, because I can feel he's showing me a situation where I knew what answer he was going to give me, but I asked him anyway. And I knew what he was going to say, and obviously it was going to be no. But I still asked the question, and I still when I still got the response, I was still like trying to bargain and persuade, like an any child would do, to try and get it my way. Instead of going, all right, I ask you, and then you say no, and I go, why? You say the reason, because normally he always gives a reason. Like me as a father to my kids, I always give a reason why I say no. And then that should be it. But oh no, we like to push that thing a bit further. We like to see how far we can push that button. Yeah, but and then we try to become a salesperson and try and convince God. I mean, for crying out loud, he's all powerful. I mean, there is no convincing. We can have a good argument, yeah. And I always, trust me, I've tried. I've tried. And I know, right, that even when I'm in the valley or the shadow of death, yeah, like in Psalm 23, and when I'm in the valley of the shadow of death, I know he's going to get me out of this stuff, right? I know he's going to step up. And I know he's, as long as I ask him with an open heart. And he will step in, show out. If God is before you, who dare be against you? you know, and I've even given up the whole thing about, oh yeah, they're gonna get karma back, because I just look at God and I go, you know what? If you've taken them out of my life, thanks. You know, clearly you took them out of my life for a reason. And the reason why they're in my life is for another reason, you know? And when I start to try and rationalize stuff and work stuff out, stuff gets more difficult. Yeah, stuff gets more difficult. And I I really try and debate with myself. I'm trying to over question him, yeah, about but God, but Father, yeah, but this and but that, and he'll go. And I know if I leave on his altar, I know, yeah. What I'm trying to say, if I ask for his help and he steps in and goes, "Look, Matt, this is what I'm giving you," and or no, you can't have this, or he removes that person. When I try and take control, and I've said this many times before, when I try to take control, that's when things it would take a long way round, and it takes twice as long. Or if I go, you know what, I leave it in your hands. You're the all powerful. I'm gonna leave it with you, and it's like I cut through the crap and I go straight through the middle, you know. And it's a safety net. It's a safety. It's like having that protection of a bigger brother, or your dad in that sense. There's a part in I don't know if I've said this well, Seculaus, and it is 31:1-8, and it says, "For everything there is a season, and at the time everyone matters under heaven." Yeah, so let me say that again. For everything there is a season. Yeah, so there's a season. And at the time, for every matter under heaven. Powerful. Simply exquisite. Exquisite, I should say. Exquisite. For let me read the things again, yeah? Let me just explain that again. It says, for everything there is a season. What you said, there's a season for these people, yeah? There's a season. When that season gone, later, move on. Don't sweat the good stuff. You know, don't sweat the bad stuff, as I say. And then God goes on to say, and at that time, for every matter, not some, not a little bit, not a meeny little tiny bit, not a big bit, everything in His creation, yeah, under heaven. So, you know what He's talking about? Heaven. Let me just put this into context, right? What are you saying? I'm just putting it layers, right? There's many ways you can look at this. So let me just put it into layers on like levels. Heaven, earth, hell, right? Just simple way so you guys can understand. Everything in heaven, God, that's just like, there is there's no season because it's continuous. We know heaven, there's no time. So it's pointing, it's God saying, and in heaven, because it's not in heaven, there's no time. He's confirming as well. He's how powerful He is. He's saying there is no time in heaven, but everything under heaven, He's talking about earth. He's talking about hell. So what He's saying, hell's gonna free. You know that saying, wait until hell frees over. That's what He's talking about. And so that verse there says it, and I think that's so powerful. That everything happens for a season. Season could be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, 10 minutes, a lifetime, several lifetimes. It depends. But for all that time, what we're going through, all this stuff that we're feeling at the moment is going to change. Yeah, it is going to change, and we need to turn around and rein it in a bit. No, don't stop expressing yourself. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to give up how you're talking or you're expressing yourself, because it's good to express yourself. But what I'm trying to say is have a purpose in what you're saying and what you're hoping to achieve. And I always say when I'm in a meeting, right, when I'm at work or with people, with friends, if you've got something to say, have a solution. If you say there's a problem and you don't have a solution, just say, I don't have a solution, but I think there's this issue here. Yeah, there's this issue. And then your solution could be, for the fact is that I just don't feel right, it's right, you know? And you may not have a solution. You go, look, I don't know, but I just feel this headphones isn't going to be good for you. You know, it could damage your ears. I don't know. I don't have the data to show the truth. I just know. I just don't like the idea they're in your ear roll. You know, that's enough. And then go, all right, we just put some different headphones on, you know, or we just play it out loud. But what I'm saying is that us and people are saying so much stuff. Yeah, saying so much stuff. And it's all factual and it all makes sense because it's from you. It's what you're feeling. And I love hearing people express themselves and saying some stuff. Some of it's a bit out there. Some of it is I'm just going, okay. And some I go, yeah, that's not the money. And some, you know, go, yeah. And influence. And this is what some of the people have been talking, especially the last couple of days. And I woke up in this strange mood today. And I was realizing that, and I was talking to my friend today, and I realizing that everything has a season. And I think that's so beautiful. You know that we won't be in the crap for a long time because it is for a season. We will, when we rejoice and we're having a good time, that's for a season. But it could get even more better. It doesn't mean that's getting any worse. Yeah. So enjoy it. But let me just round it off with this, saying this. It's okay to express yourself, as I said before, but have a solution and work out why. If not, you're not telling people what the reason why you're saying all this stuff or you're feeding this stuff. Know it in yourself why you're saying it. If you don't know, say, like, I don't know, I don't like how this is going, I don't like how that's going. And if you don't know, you don't know. For example, before I go, I started watching a friend of mine said, oh, the new series of Cobra Kai was on. And I was like, oh yeah, I really liked the first one. And I was really into it. And I love Karate Kid. It's my thing. I grew up with it when I was younger and so on. Anyway, I watched it and it was getting halfway through me watching a series. This was. And I was like, yeah, this is like rubbish. You know, I was like, this isn't where, I don't know what was going on. And I don't know what it was. So I said, you know what, let me just stop watching it. Took a couple of days out and then I had a couple of days off. So I started watching it in the evening again. And I was like, I get why now. You know, I get where it was going. I was in a different mindset. The season changed for me. And I'm glad I didn't just poo-poo it and put it on the shelf and say it's rubbish. I actually revisited it again and it made sense. So anyway, I'm going to end on that. So don't be afraid to be yourself and to express yourself. And please like, share and subscribe. And remember that have a solution and reason why, even within yourself. But you got any comments, leave it below in the descriptions. And you know what, I see what we can have a chat. And again, this is only what I see, what I feel. I'm only expressing myself. Stay blessed, stay safe, and God bless and namaste.